live stream and recorded. Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Decoding Your Superpowers. I'm Teresa Lisum here with my friend and coaching peer.
Linda Karchner.
Welcome, Linda. We're so glad you're here, Linda. We're so glad everybody else is here.
Yeah.
Our time was floating again today. So
That's
thanks
what
for
happens when you
everybody.
have connectedness high. It's going to work
Yeah.
out.
What will happen when it happens?
Yeah.
But thank you for anybody watching in. We appreciate you being here. And we do want to say that we're going to take a couple weeks off for the holidays. So we'll come back again in January
Yeah.
2026. So watch
Right.
for us on Tuesdays.
For my husband, that's retirement year.
Oh, yay. Good for
December
him.
31st, 2026. So
Woohoo. So you just got
he's
to
pretty
get through the
excited.
year. I
Yeah.
bet. I know. Everybody who gets to that age, that point in their life, it is a different way of thinking. It's a
Yeah.
different way of showing up for sure. That
Mhm.
retirement, knowing it's there.
Right.
I know somebody who's going through that right now, and he's down to 2 weeks, and then he'll be
Oh,
done. So,
ooh.
thanks again for being here. But we did some myth busting last week. So
Mhm.
go back and look at that episode if you weren't here for that or you didn't listen to the recording. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. And we want to highlight women over 50.
Mhm.
And as women, we all know, if you're a woman listening to this, we all spend years wearing different hats and
Mhm.
doing all these different roles and having to live up to expectations, whether they be societal expectations or family
Right.
expectations, and doing all the things,
Yeah.
bringing home the bacon.
Frying it up in the pan.
Yes, and birthing the babies and changing the diapers and so we have all, at least for me, I remember I there was a point in time, it was probably in my 50s,
Hmm.
where it's like, well, who am I really, excuse me. And when I did hit that retirement age, it's like, I don't even know who I am
Hmm.
because of all these different roles I played over the years.
Hmm.
And I remember being in a group of other women, and we had to go around and say who we are and what we did and blah, blah, blah. And like, I just kept disliking saying, oh, I'm
Hmm.
a retired teacher. And like, that was just not me. I didn't want to keep saying that. It just
Right.
felt, okay, I am that, but that's not who I am. That's not
Right.
who I be. That's not who I am now. My identity was tied to that previous job, and I
Mhm.
no longer needed to be attached to that. So I
Right.
had to literally think of other things to say as to who I was. It was an interesting experience. I mean, not that I'm totally to that point yet.
Yeah.
Been on this discovery journey ever since then. But so I think, I mean, is it like you for that? I don't know. Hopefully I
Words are
can
hard
speak
today.
better here in the next couple minutes. Was it like that for you? Like, was there a point in time where you thought like, who am I really
Well,
independent of everything else?
it's interesting. I distinctly remember one time someone asking me how I was doing. And this was probably even 10, 20 years ago. I don't even know when it was, quite a few years ago. And I proceeded to tell her how the family was doing.
Yeah, yeah,
And she
yeah.
said, isn't that interesting how when we ask women how they're doing, they talk about how the family is doing?
Yes,
And
yes.
I mean, what I was blessed to have a family and I loved that role. But that kind of defined who I was for
Yes,
a long
yes.
time. And now, my sons are all in their 20s and starting their own families and don't live at home for the most part. The youngest keeps coming back, because He misses us. But I wanted to figure out who I was in this second half,
Yes,
latter
yes.
third of my life, whatever. Um, and do the things that really met who I am right now.
Hmm. And that could be a tough,
Hmm.
complex thing, puzzle or
Yeah,
thing to unpack. There's a
yeah,
lot of ways of talking about it.
yeah.
But you know, we're going to give an option today. Of course, it's going to have to do with strengths.
Of
Whereas
course.
we've learned that knowing your strengths and being able to flip that script, like, well, who am I? Like, I don't really know. I could be this. How am I showing up in the world? What is important to me? Like, all of
Mhm.
this can really be clarified with the understanding and the knowing of your strengths results. Like, we
Yes.
always talk about that. Of course, that's our focus whenever we're talking here for decoding your superpowers.
Hmm.
But having that knowledge of your strengths results, your zone of genius, those bottom strengths that you can let go of, like that is just so empowering. That really can give you watching more of a concrete perspective, like, oh, yes, that is how, yeah, I do that. So it's
Hmm.
just going to give you lots of clarity on who you are at this point in your life.
Hmm. And I think for me, the other thing that I kind of got in touch with was I knew what I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, I'm trained. I have my education as a mental health therapist. I did that for 10 years before we started adopting our kids. And I it, it's a tough job. It's
Oh,
very
yeah, I bet.
draining, and
Mm-hmm.
um I don't want to do that. And God bless the people who do that and have a heart for that because it takes a lot out of a person. And I don't have that emotional bandwidth anymore to do that. But now, if I could do all of my therapy based on strengths, I would gladly do that.
Oh, that would be an awesome tool
Wouldn't
to
that?
have. Wow, that
Yeah,
would be so spectacular. But I do want to say that your strengths report doesn't say what you're lacking or what your
right.
weaknesses are. It's
Hmm.
really telling you, here's what you're naturally good at.
Yep.
This is when you're at your best.
Yeah,
This is
you're
when you're the
gifted.
most energized. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And it's a gift to yourself, like, oh yeah. Woo, thank you. Thank you very much for
Hmm.
showing me what makes me happy, what makes me authentic, what makes me the most creative, productive, energetic version of myself.
Hmm.
And I do it so easily and naturally. Thank
Yeah,
you very much. Yeah, it's
yeah. It helps so much for me to take a look at my strengths report and for self-affirmation.
yes, yes.
It's like, okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Like
Yep.
being a relationship builder, connecting with people, being smart, those are good things. Those are how I'm gifted, how my talents are. And it's a good thing to use those in this part of my life.
And for the world to impact
Hmm.
those around you in a more intentional way.
Yeah, definitely.
But this does help us understand that we don't have to fix ourselves. There's
Yeah,
nothing broken. We
right.
don't have to work harder. We are enough already as we are. And that was a big one for me.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Big one. Because I never thought I was enough.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the gifts of my knowing my strengths is showing me, oh, no, you are enough. You
Hmm.
are enough exactly the way you are. No need to force myself to being something else. to emulate somebody else, to,
Right. Yeah.
copy somebody else. I mean, I could look at somebody else and kind of use what their, like maybe their ideas, but I could still do it my way.
Right. And that's key.
That
Doing
is,
it,
yes,
doing it the way we're wired.
yes, exactly. And it's so much easier, man. It is so much
And
easier.
I thought that I had to be like this super outgoing person, or super organized because, those are like the things I'm not. And this is liberating
Mm-hmm.
when you look at that and you're like, you know what? God doesn't make junk. He made
Yes.
me the way he made me. And um, I'm always a person who wants to improve,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
me too.
but now I can improve on the things that are natural talents for me, not trying to
Mm-hmm.
improve on the things that are someone else's talents.
Yes, yes. Which is what we're brought up doing. We're kind of given that idea that we need to improve, we need to be fixed, we need to
Yeah.
pull up this weakness and that weakness, we need to get tutored here, we need to,
Mhm.
and this is totally opposite that.
Yeah.
This is shining up those
Mm-hmm.
points of us that are already at their best, and we could just get even better and better and better. We're not
Mm-hmm.
starting from a deficit. We're
Right.
starting from a positive already.
Right. From your strengths, from a strong
Exactly.
place.
And I love this idea that strengths are a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
They're reflecting back to us who we already are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we might not believe that
Yet.
image. We might not take full advantage of what that mirror is showing us,
Mm-hmm.
but we can learn that. We
Mm-hmm.
can learn to lean into it and, gain the knowledge and I like to say leverage the strengths that we have, the superpowers that we have. We can learn to leverage them in a bigger way, amplify them, I guess, is another word we could use.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that mirror analogy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I,
you're not hiding who you are. You're looking at taking some time for reflection to
mm,
understand who you are, and improving on that, like we were saying,
yeah,
polishing that.
I love that. And that mirror image, and you just said taking some time for reflection.
Mhm.
That is perfect. But it's just who we are without those roles,
Yeah,
without the responsibilities we think we might have,
right.
without expectations that we put on ourselves or other people put on us or society puts on us. It's who we are without all of those
Right.
layers.
If you had to describe yourself without using like your job, your family
Mhm.
status, and your geographic location, like
Yeah,
what would
yeah.
you say about who you are? Those other things are your roles.
Hmm.
And they may speak to who you are, but how you do those roles is dependent on your strengths,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But so this gives us sort of a linchpin or a handhold to describe who we are deep down
Hmm.
inside,
Yes.
where our strengths are, and how we see the world and operate in the world.
Yes, yes, I love that. And you don't need to earn your strengths. You don't
Hmm.
need to earn anything because they're already in you. They've been
Yeah.
working for you your entire life.
Hmm.
So we we don't have to strive for anything. We
Right.
just have to, I guess again, I guess that leaning into them, leaning into them and learning to love them and just understand them, just
Yeah.
like people in your lives. Like you kind of just learn to understand them, and then you're going to just fall in love with them even more.
Hmm.
So, and recognizing, that's another good word, recognizing those superpowers, those strengths, because a lot of us go through life not recognizing, not realizing that, oh, okay, that's, like, because we've never been shown them. We've never had that mirror
Hmm.
shown to us. We've never paid attention. We've never, because we have all these external messages and expectations and responsibilities, it's not frequently that we look in
Right.
and grab a hold of what we already have and then reflect those out with in an intentional way.
And we've said this 100 times, like we just take our strengths for granted
Yes, yes.
and we see them as something that is there, but our weaknesses are the things that we need to focus on
Yeah.
and improve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how exhausting that is.
It is exhausting. It is exhausting. That's a perfect way of saying it. And when we understand our strengths, we can stop wasting our time on those weaknesses or
Hmm.
being somebody we're not. Like you said, it's just exhausting. It's energy draining
Hmm.
for us to be a certain way that doesn't come natural to us.
Yeah, yeah. I think about my bottom strengths a lot. And I remind myself I don't have to be them. I can do the tasks or work on the relationships in my superpowers. I don't have to dip down into my kryptonite and try to do life that way. And that, man, that is so freeing.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
And I just like sometimes I just think like how many people in the world are moving through life, expending all that energy, trying to be something they're not or someone they're not, or trying
Hmm.
to work from those bottom strengths.
Hmm.
And they're just not realizing like that energy is being expended
Hmm.
because they're not operating from that zone of genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're working somewhere they shouldn't be or
Hmm.
don't need to be instead
Hmm.
of moving and flowing from those top 10 where
Hmm.
it's just easy and natural and fun and energizing. And I just think our stress levels would really be lower, at
And
least
our
in this country.
relationships would be so much better.
Hmm.
I have some clients who it's a husband and wife, and communication and positivity are in her top 10. Communication is his number 34.
Mm.
And she's like, "My husband never talks to me." And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you why." His communication is number 34. That is his very bottom strength. It is not natural at all for him
Mm.
to use words
Mm.
to describe how he's feeling or anything. And, she's all about the words.
Yeah.
So it was like a light bulb went on for her.
I bet. I
She's like,
bet.
"Oh, okay." And I could just see the wheels turning. I mean, she's
Hmm.
she's a strategic thinker, so she's going to process that, and I think it'll come back in times when they're having a little bit of friction.
I was going to say, and how many marriages could be saved if you
Yeah,
just had that inkling of
yeah,
understanding, like,
yeah,
oh, that makes sense.
yeah.
Instead
We
of always butting heads and
Right,
arguing, and
absolutely.
you can't comprehend why somebody's not thinking like you do
Mhm.
because they're, like you said, his communication's way at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't think like this lady, this woman, like his wife, like, no. And there's a reason for that. But
Uh-huh.
she had no concept of that prior to that.
Right,
But once she got that understanding, I'm sure a whole new way of
right.
interacting
Mhm.
emerged for them.
I hope
So,
so.
so this in a marriage counseling setting
Oh,
or
yeah.
family counseling setting,
Mhm.
this would be a real powerful way of approaching and understanding each other.
My husband and I have the honor of doing premarital counseling with young couples that he's getting ready to do their wedding. And we just had our second session with a young couple this past Sunday, and it's so much fun to, they're just starting their life together, but they have felt like there has been such a revelation about how
Wow.
who each of them is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they are good communicators, and it was fun for them to see the overlap
Mm-hmm. The
and also
commonalities.
the
Yeah.
differences. Like this explains, why she needs to cry first and then come to
Mm.
solutions later.
Oh, wow.
So, it's powerful no matter where you're at in your phase of life.
That
But
is true. But yeah, that beginning point,
mhm,
pre-marriage, man, wow. Stepping
mhm,
into a marriage with this information about
yeah,
each other.
mhm,
Whoo, they are very lucky
yeah,
to
yeah.
have this message or this
They're
information in their back pocket.
they've been a fun couple to work with.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be cool if that was like a requirement
Yeah,
of
yeah,
everybody getting
right.
married? You have to go. You can't get your marriage license until you go through this, at least a couple of sessions just to
Right.
have that awareness.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
if you could continue forward with it and dig
Right.
a little deeper into the
You know,
strengths, that would be
and
cool
as you
too. But
have different life events happening,
yes.
once they become parents, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to trigger some new things,
Mm-hmm.
some new conflict, some new areas of, okay, I need you to do this because I'm low in that,
Yeah, yeah.
and as their parents age, their kids look back on, so, well, we have phases of life.
Oh, you're a little broken up there, my friend.
Oh,
So I didn't hardly hear any of that. There you go. You're back.
am I back? Okay.
Yes. So
And just
whatever
talking about,
wisdom you shared, we
yeah,
missed.
just talking about like the phases of life and how
Hmm.
important strengths are for them.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I love that idea. And like you said, just pulling them out to remind yourself of who you really are
Mhm.
authentically. This is who I am. I
Yeah.
do the same thing. I pull them out. I have
Mhm.
different versions. I have different perspectives, like with energetic, we've talked about that, and my judgy strengths and all that. But I have to remind myself who I am. So even if you're not focused on your strengths or your superpowers every day, pulling that report out
Mhm.
periodically, as you said, in these
Right.
points in your life when you
Mhm.
need a reminder,
Mhm.
then you pull them out and you look at them, you're like, oh, yeah. Or you pull them out to remind yourself who your spouse really is. Oh,
Right.
yeah, that's why. That's why we've been having issues. I've been forgetting
Yeah.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And yeah, so we're going to need to decide what kind of parents we're going to be or what our approach is going to be, pulling those strengths out and
Mhm.
looking them over again to remind each other, oh, yeah, like you said, you might need to pick up the slack there because I won't
Right.
be able to. Oh,
And
yeah. What a,
if you'd like to read, like Teresa and I do, there are books by through Gallup. There's
yes.
one called Strengths-Based Marriages and another
Mhm.
one called Strengths-Based Parenting that
Yes.
are very good resources for
Yes.
people. And
Excellent.
I I'm not sure if they're both available currently on the Gallup website, but if not, try going to thriftbooks.com.
Hmm.
Thriftbooks.com. It's used books and very reasonably priced. That's where I think I've gotten all of my strengths books. And if you spend $15, the shipping is free. So I love free shipping because I'm
Oh,
greedy.
yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah, so
Um,
thriftbooks.com, you can find a lot of strengths books.
Yeah, and I've gotten them through Audible. I
Oh
actually
yeah, yeah.
listened to the marriage one on
Uh-huh.
Audible and the parenting one on
Uh,
Audible. So
Hmm.
that's another option. And
Hmm.
you can check Amazon, of course, and see if they're there. But I love
Yeah.
the idea of thriftbooks.com.
Hmm.
And check your library. We forget
Oh
about
yeah,
the good
yeah. I know,
old-fashioned
right?
library.
Support your local library.
I know that's not my first go-to, but
No,
it's
because I
definitely the place to start if you want to
I
save some
found
money.
I'm digressing a little bit, but libraries reminded me of it. There's a participant's guide to a strengths book that I have read a lot, and it's called Living Your Strengths. It's for the faith community.
Okay.
And they have a Catholic version and a Protestant version. So it's living,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
living your strengths. I don't think it's available on the Gallup website anymore, but there was
Wow.
someone created like a Bible study guide to go along with it, and I was able to find it on an online library. So they
Okay.
like scan the pages, and I was so excited to find that. And I'm not sure how what led me down that rabbit trail, but I was super excited so I could see like some of the questions that they ask and things like that, so I can share those with some
Mm.
of my clients.
So there's a lot of people out there
On
in the world
libraries.
using strengths
Yeah.
in different
Yeah.
ways.
Hmm.
So it's not just us who
Hmm.
love the strengths, love the
Hmm.
superpowers, and
Oh, yeah.
see its value in it
Right.
and their power in action in all different areas and
Hmm.
phases of life. So yeah,
Definitely.
if you're interested, you could definitely find more info.
Hmm.
Don't just go by what we're sharing. I mean, we
Yeah.
want you to, but you can
We
go
know we're right, but you can always check with
to.
someone else.
And on that note, we're going to start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
But I want to say one more statement that I really, really like. Strengths, superpowers, as we call them here, give you permission to start being who you already are.
I love that.
So you can start being who you already are.
Mm,
So you're
that's
really not
good.
starting, but you're starting that
Yeah.
awareness of
Yeah.
who you already are. So I really love that. And we want to, make sure we remind everybody that you go to the Gallup website, Gallup,
Mhm.
Gallup,
Right. Hmm.
purchase the 34 report that gives you all of them.
Hmm.
It allows you to unlock and see your patterns and just gives you more in-depth information about yourself. Get the results over to us. We would love to
Mm.
get you started on your journey in the most positive way. You are welcome to join us here live. Just send your report over to us and we'll dig into it, just between me and Linda and kind of tell you a little bit about yourself. And
Great.
then, of course, both of us would love to work with you and on an individual level and, see where it takes you. And yeah, so we'd love to be your guides there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes,
Giving
because you
you
can see me get
say that
excited.
sentence again, that statement, giving you the freedom to be who you already are.
We're going to say superpowers
Okay.
give you permission to start being who you already are.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
that
good
is
one.
good. So I want to thank you, Linda. I know
Yeah,
you
thank
took a little
you.
bit of time from your grandbaby here today to be with
Yeah,
us. So thank you so much. We
thank
want to
you.
thank everybody for listening in. We're recording this right before the holidays.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing this before, we want to wish you happy holidays. If you're seeing it afterward, just happy day. Just have a
Yeah.
great rest of your day. And we will see everybody a couple weeks from now. Be safe, be happy,
Mm.
and thank you. Appreciate everybody. All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
I think we're good.